Welcome, students. The poem we are going to study today is the ball poem from your first flight book, class 10th. First of all, introduction of the poem. The poet John Berryman, through this poem, has described the harsh reality of life which everyone has to face one day. He has touched the topic of how to stand up against the miseries and sorrows of life. Explanation stanza wise. First stanza is, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? The poet is asking a question to the reader. What will be the situation of the boy? What will be the mental condition of the boy who has just lost his ball? What is he to do? What is now going to do? I saw it go, the poet says. I saw his ball go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. The poet says, I saw the ball happily bouncing and jumping and over the street, and I can see it now. It is in the water. Literary devices quickly. Anaphora, use of repeated words in two or two more lines. That is, repeated words in two or two more lines. That is, here we can see what is repeated here as well. Okay, and here as well. If what is repeated in the same line here, that is figure of speech repetition, and it is repeated in this line also, and then in second line also, then it is anaphora. Now second one is assonance, and assonance is repetition of vowel sounds. Then there will be a repetition, that is, here we can see boy, now, who, and even lost. So it is o is repeated, that is assonance. Then imagery. We start having a kind of feeling that we are able to watch the ball jumping happily. Then repetition, when the words are repeated, that is repetition. You are already told about this here, what word is repeated here, and even we can see this is also repeated. We reach to the next stanza. No use of say, oh, there are other balls. Poet here says that there is no use of saying that there are other balls. You must have many balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. The boy is now standing there, fixed. He is shaking with grief, and he is trembling, and he is staring continuously into the harbor where his ball has gone. Actually, he is thinking about his young days also, which he has spent with the ball, his emotional attachment with the ball. Then poet says, I would not intrude on him. I am not going to disturb him. I am not going to tell him a dime, another ball. I am not going to tell him that take this money, go and get another ball. It is worthless. This shouldn't be done. Now he senses first responsibility. Why does the poet say so? The poet feels that this is the time that the boy should learn his first responsibility of life, which we all have to go through. Literary devices. Repetition, ball is repeated here. So that is repetition. And then second one is ascended on. It isn't in your syllabus, so let me skip it. Now we are at the next stanza. In a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost anyways. People keep on buying things in this world of possessions. We all love to have things. We buy balls and we lose them, as the little boy has lost. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. Here, poet is telling no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He wants to say that if I offer the money to the boy to go and buy another ball, no one buys a ball back. This means maybe the boy will buy a new ball, but he will not be able to buy his feelings associated with the old one. He can buy a ball, but not the feelings, not the memories. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. Poet says the boy is learning. He's learning very well behind his desperate eyes, and he should learn it. The epistemology of loss, how to stand up. The boy should now learn the feeling of loss, how to overcome, how to stand up your feeling of loss of someone special, someone close to us, loss of something very very special, very very valuable to us, knowing that every man must one day know and must know many days how to stand up. And because this is one of the realities of human life, we all have to know, we all have to learn to stand up against the oddities of life, against the losses of life. Figures of speech used here: alliteration, use of sound B, that is repetition of consonant sound at the start of two consecutive words, B and B. We can see here ball and ball, and it is repetition as well because the words are repeated. Okay. Assonance, use of vowel sound, repetition of vowel sound. He is learning, E and E, that is, even we can take it in well and then behind, then desperate, then eyes, it is. So that is assonance. Rhyme scheme, when it comes to rhyme scheme, there is no rhyme scheme in the poem, it is a free verse. We'll quickly see the summary of the poem. The poet is talking about a little boy who has lost his ball. He was playing with his ball. The ball skipped from his hand and went into the nearby water body. The poet says that his sight of the boy losing his favorite ball made him think about the boy and his reaction to this situation. First, the poet wanted to see how the boy is going to react. He further says that the boy was helplessly looking into the water where his ball had gone. He was sad and was trembling with fear. He got so immersed in his sorrow that he kept standing near the harbor for a very long time and kept on looking for his ball. The poet says that he could console him that he may get new ball, or he could also give him some money to buy another ball. Poet says, I could say, don't worry, you will get another ball. Or I could give him some money as well to buy the new one. But he stops himself from doing so because he thinks that the money may bring a new ball but will not bring the memories and feelings attached to the lost ball. He further says that this was the actual time for the boy to learn the responsibilities. Here the poet wants to say that now the boy will learn the toughest lesson of life. What is that? The lesson of accepting the harsh realities of life, that one day we will lose our loved ones and our loved things as well. This is the time the boy should learn things, so I am not going to help him. Now comes the theme at the end. The poet in the ball poem describes the grief of a boy over the loss of his ball. With that loss, he senses his first responsibility in a materialistic world where those whom you love and your worldly possessions will not be with you forever. One day you will have to lose them. If it is associated with any person, then the person die. If it is about a thing, that thing sometimes gets lost or sometimes stops working. The poem shows how all through your life you will be forced to do things that you don't want to do, and you will lose or have to give up the things. We have to do many things that we do not want to do in our life, and we have to learn how to cope up with these kind of feelings. But despite this, you have to learn to stand up against all these oddities, to be a strong person and get on with your life, no matter how much it hurts inside. But we have to try to stand up, we have to try to get up and start afresh, because that is the only way you will survive. Darwin also says survival of the fittest. The person who is the fittest, who knows how to cope up his all his problems, that person will be successful ultimately. It thus teaches us to learn to accept and let go and not cling on to something that you can never have. If you can't have it, forget it. I hope you understood the theme and the poem as well. Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks a lot.